Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Pestilence. This is Blue-Black Pestilence. This is a list that I found from Offbeat Hero. They make some YouTube videos, so I'll leave a link to their channel in the description. I actually had somebody comment on one of my Moxfield lists about Golgari Pestilence, asking if I had seen this list. That's Martin10 on Moxfield. And I had not seen this list, and I thought it looked pretty interesting, so I figured we'd give it a go. So, since it's a Pestilence list, obviously we are going to be playing several of those, and we're going to try to have a creature that we can keep on the field so that the Pestilence won't die to itself. The big way to be doing that recently has been Cauldron Familiar with several food tokens, or not tokens, but just artifacts, in which case we have 4 nutrient blocks, 4 Lembas for those. But something that I tried out in a list was Daily Indoctrination to earthbend onto an indestructible land, a Mistfall Bridge in this case, so that you can have an indestructible creature which will never die. One of the reasons we're playing blue for this is so that we also can get Kenku Artificers. So we have 7 ways to make an indestructible bridge. Of course, we're only 2 colors, so we only have 4 bridges. However, Kenku Artificer can also just animate any artifact at all. And don't forget the nutrient block is indestructible, so we can also just target that if we want to. And then since we're playing blue and we're kind of doing artifact stuff, might as well be playing Cryogen Relic 2, my favorite card from 2025. Other than that, we just have a lot of your standard card draw and removal. 4 cast downs, 2 Extract a Confession, 4 Fanatical Offering, 2 Eviscerator's Insight, and some more interaction, Nile Spellbombs, and a couple campfires to survive the burn matchups. I did change the mana base slightly to be a little more favored for black. So we're playing 2 Bajuka Bogs, 2 Dimir Aqueducts, a Dismal Blackwater, 1 of Island, 4 Mistfall Bridge, and a bunch of swamps. Sideboard we have Hydroblasts, Steel Sabotage, Negate, a Snuff Out, some Fairy Macabres, Drown in Sorrow, and a couple Duress. Let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. All right, on the play here, and we got some decent card draw, some land drops. We have 2 Indoctrination, although currently no indestructible lands. The Kenku can hit artifacts, as I mentioned, but the Daily Indoctrination does have to target a land. They mulligan once. Of course, this can also just be used for a removal spell from hand. And we're against Gruul monsters, it looks like. Could be elves. Would have loved to get an untapped land, but that's okay. There's a Wild Growth and a Utopia Sprawl, an Eldrazi Repurposer, and pass the turn. I think I'm just going to Daily Indoctrination to take a card from their hand here. They only have 2 cards left. We could just play like a Cryogen Relic, but they only have 2 cards left, and if I can take a big Hydra or Annoyed Altasaur or something, then that would be really nice. Avenging Hunter, that's a good one to take away. So we are not going to be able to take the initiative anytime soon. So they're going to have 2 repurposers. We are going to need to find a way to survive against these, but nowhere near as bad as it could have been, unless they just top deck the Nyxborn Hydra that I was trying to avoid, which is what it appears to be. Hydra for 9, so we have like 2 turns. I guess I could Cryogen stun this. Not this turn, unfortunately. Unless I did get an untapped land here. Or I could just Lembas. Let's go for the Cryogen. Highest upside. Cast down's not bad. We'll pick up a Dismal Backwater. So we take 9 down to 4. Cast down. Well, if they attack with the Arbor Elf 2, we go to 3. I guess back to 4 with the Dismal Backwater. Another Cryogen. So I could just like potentially perma-stun this if I crack this, but then I'm going to have to cast this down. I think that's where we're at right now. Stun. Swamp doesn't change anything this turn. We're going to cast down. If I could get a bridge, this Indoctrination could be really good against the Repurposer, or any of the guys that don't have trample. Kill this guy, take 1, get an island. Let's go for a relic. Stun this again. Cast down is something. I could cast down the Arbor Elf. I kind of feel like I could deal with the Arbor Elf with like Lembuses. But of course I can give them mana. They already have 6 mana even if I cast that down. I think we're just going to Lembas. We're living on the edge a little bit here, hoping that they don't get a haste or another Hydra. That is life gain and just a card right now. Yeah, but life gain is... If I don't die this turn, I will have the mana to like cast this down for a turn and start gaining life off of these. Maybe that's okay. We have so many cards, but we're just dying here. I was a little worried on the low number of removal in the deck. Only 4 cast downs and 2 Extract Confessions. Obviously Pestilence as well. But a lot of these decks usually run a lot more. Defiles and things like that. I figured with the 7 blockers from the Indoctrinations. That might be good enough, but obviously it doesn't help against Trample. Repurposer, another Dismal Backwater. Okay, let's Lembas. There's a bridge. I would like to get the bridge down, so it can be a blocker next turn. This gets to attack, so I have to cast this down, and then gain life off a Lembas. And the following turn I have to draw to find like another removal spell for this guy. Cast down here, crack a Lembas. I mean, if they have like a Bannerhide Crew Shock, we'll also die, but we're dead a million ways. Just trying to survive, trying to hold on. They have an Avenging Hunter. That's pretty bad, because we're not going to be able to stop the trap, and I probably can't gain enough life to survive that, plus everything here. More Lembases. Play that. Don't need a land. Cryogen keeps this tapped. Alright, there's no way we can stop this here. Just a bit of a slow start for us. We get Snuff Out. That's basically it. The gate doesn't help too much. Blue Blast, Duress, no. Spell Bomb's not super necessary. If we had a Campfire early, that would have helped. If we had an Indestructible land earlier, that would have helped. If we had Pestilence earlier, that would have helped. So we had like 10 cards that if we'd had earlier, I think we would have been okay. Let's give it a try again. No blue mana for the Cryogen, but we do have a Pestilence and some card draw. Alright, Bog is not super relevant, so let's just get the tap land out of the way. Arbor Elf. More cheap removals specifically. Like, I thought about putting Defiles in. I didn't want to mess with the deck itself until I really knew what I was doing. I could play this and then Fanatical Offering it to draw 3. I guess that's not terrible. It just lets me keep my Lembas around. I think I'd rather find some other stuff, actually. Yeah, I had some ideas for this deck, but wanted to keep the soul of it intact for the first try. Wild Growth and a Bannerhide. We get a Nutrient Block anyway. Play that and pass. I guess I could have Fanatical because I could find my one of Snuff Out for this Arbor Elf, which could be pretty good. Could still do that during combat. Might as well, but we didn't find it, so that's fine. Another Arbor Elf. Pass. So they're either missing red or just didn't have enough mana. They needed more than 5 here. Kenku. I can't Pestilence for 1 yet. I could just put it on the field, but if they have like a Disenchant or something, it's kind of bad. I think I just can't fire and play our blue land. I guess I could have Daily Indoctrination, try to take something from their hand. I think that's probably better than saving it to Earthbend right now, especially because we already have the Kenku Artificer. If they have a big Hydra, Altasaur, it's probably good to take it away. There's the Hydra, Chrysalis, and a Ram Through. Okay, so Chris they can't cast right now. Ram Through I'll keep in mind. Swing for 6. I could Pestilence for 1 here. Ooh, the Mistfall Bridge for the Kenku is tempting. Kind of want to activate Campfire, so I could Campfire and Cryogen here. Sure, let's Cryogen first, see what we get. Another. All right, we'll just pass. Campfire. We're going to go to 7. Putting a Kenku on the field before we have removal actually just lets them ram through and hit us for 3 extra, so I don't really love that. There's a cast down though. So if I do this and then they go for the ram through, I can cast down. Plus this just gives us a blocker, and then it lets us next turn Pestilence. I think this is good. Pass. And it also just means I can double block here. So they can't really get in for much. If they go for the ram through, then I can cast down. And I'm fine leaving the Arbor Elves because we have the Pestilence anyway. Yep, there it is. Cast down. They have another one. Sure. We'll Campfire. We still survive at 4. And then I can Pestilence, hit them for 1, Campfire. And I don't think they're going to have a haste creature for 4 green, so I'm just going to attack. And if they got nothing, then I think we're in a pretty good spot. Map onto this guy. Eviscerator's Insight we'll put in the graveyard. Attack for 4, and we played a land, so I guess we'll just activate Campfire and Eviscerator's Insight the Cryogen here. We got a Forest, but looks like no Avenging Hunter for them. Draw 3, attack for 4, and we pretty much just have them dead to Pestilence. This going into next turn. Alright, we win that one. They stumbled a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, Drowned in Sorrow for the Arbor Elves feels okay, but like that's the only thing that of relevance it hits. I think we just leave it. Extract can hit an early creature or a big creature. Daily Indoctrination, Pestilence. This one looks okay. They have the Sprawl this time. Play a Backwater. They have another Sprawl, and they just pass. No 3-drop at all is crazy. Cast down is good. We're gonna go for the Indoctrination because I gotta make sure that they don't Avenging Hunter. Bannerhide, Cast in the Fire, 2 Hydras. I guess we're taking Bannerhide. It's the best creature to just play here. And Cast in the Fire, now that we know about, obviously it is nice that we're not playing that many artifact lands for Cast in the Fire. Arbor Elf, probably gonna have to kill that, so they can't make a massive Hydra next turn. Yeah, because if they cast it on this, we're just gonna have to use these anyway. Let's just extract, go for a Backwater. I'd love to just hold off until we get a Pestilence to wipe it, but like, it's gonna to do too much damage in the meantime. Not to mention if they just draw an Avenging Hunter or anything above a 4-drop, it would allow them to play it. They play a Hydra, the 3/4. We're gonna Limbus, scry into another Limbus. Will we just keep that? I don't know. I could cast this down. I think for now I'm just gonna let it go. It's only 3 damage. There could be a lot scarier things to deal with. They're just going to cast another one. I'm going to Fanatical Offering this Limbus. Draw 2. Nutrient Block. Another Deadly Indoctrination. Limbus. Campfire's not bad. If they want to cast in the fire the campfire, that's fine. They do find a forest, so an Avenging Hunter would be unfortunate. Swing for 6. They do cast it into the campfire, so we'll gain 2, and that's it. Another campfire. So I kind of want to play a Pestilence here, so I can use it next turn. So I could hold up I could play a Campfire, I could cast down, or I could go for an Indoctrination. I probably want to save the Indoctrination for after I wipe the board to put another creature on the field. Campfire is the way to gain life. Obviously, I don't want to cast down if I'm going to go for the Pestilence. They didn't have an Avenging Hunter, so I think we just go Pestilence Campfire here. If they have a Deglammer, they can get rid of the Pestilence. Can't do much about that. And they do. Yeah, it's possible I should have just used that 4 mana to sack Nutrient Block, like try to look for more lands so I could use Pestilence the turn I play it. It's a Wild Growth. 1 land in hand, or 1 card in hand for them though, which does not appear to be a creature they can cast. Cryogen is decent. Your Aqueduct, so we'll keep one of these tapped. Another Pestilence. Aqueduct, so I should actually, I was gonna bounce a Dismal Backwater for the life gain, but I should actually just bounce an island here, because then I could play and use Pestilence next turn on one of these guys, which case I should just hold up Campfire here. I'll take 3. And another Sprawl. Activate Campfire. If I do use Pestilence, it goes away, plus I go down to 6. But then I have Cast Down for the next guy. I think this is the right thing to do. We'll wait for them to go to combat and activate it 4 times. Hope there's no Bannerhide Crew Shock. Maybe I should have just done it on our turn, but then if they had like a boarding party, that would have been bad. So we get got by something either way here. All right, no Crew Shock. Deglammer on the Campfire. Okay, I guess because Pestilence goes away anyway, that makes sense. Sack Nutrient Block to draw a card, cast down. So I could just Deadly Indoctrination on a Dismal Backwater as a 2/2 and start attacking. It's an 8-turn clock. Actually, I can make it like a 6-turn clock with this map. Plus, I have life gain and cast downs. I think I should do that, actually. Doing it on the Dismal Backwater because then I gain a life if it dies. Map. We hit another Deadly Indoctrination. I guess we'll leave that, so that could be more damage quicker. This is our win con now. Earthbend onto this Dismal Backwater. Swing for 5. And if they get like an Avenging Hunter or something, I just get to cast it down. So now we're actually not in a bad spot. Looking pretty good. There's the Hunter. We'll cast this guy down. Hit for 5. Take the initiative. They have a Ram through. So I can spend another cast down to keep this alive, or I just have a 2/2. I take 2 damage here. I think that's fine. This comes back, and with the initiative, we still kill them in just a couple turns. We save a cast down in case they get a boarding party or like a Hydra or something big. Fanatical Offering, sack the Limbus. Bojuka Bog. Oh, we have a map. I should have mapped onto this guy, but that's okay. I'm gonna Bojuka Bog them because I actually do have a Bannerhide in there, so a little bit of relevance. And we'll pass. We're gonna Forge. If I had put the map onto it last turn, assuming I hit a spell, then I would have had lethal, but that's okay. I think we're going to be just fine. Play Nutrient Block, sacrifice it, and we'll just pass. They have another Avenging Hunter. Forge onto their guy. And I'll extract a Confession, swing for 4. Alright, we take the match. Round 2 here, we have just a 1-lander. We have 3 1-drops, but we're on the play, and if we don't hit another land, like we're a deck that really wants lands. I gotta mulligan that. Unfortunately, I gotta mulligan this too. This one's better. Get rid of 1 land, and what? I guess the Artificer? Depending on the match, that could be really good. Cast down. I guess we'll get rid of the cast down and hope that the Artificer Indestructible land is going to be good enough removal. That's only if they don't have a trample guy and their creatures are just for attacking, but if they have like a Mystic or something I need to kill, like, it's kind of bad. Thornwood Falls. Well, first of all, we get our cast down back. Second of all, Thornwood Falls implies, what does it imply? Turbo Fog, which would mean I actually don't care about the cast downs. Never mind. It's the opposite, and I do care about the cast downs. It's Infect. So I am going to just cast this down right now when they can't give it hexproof. Well, indestructible creatures are good against Infect. Unfortunately, Infect still shrinks the guy. Lighted Agent is unblockable. That's no good. So it actually doesn't matter if the guy has Indestructible or not. So I might as well, and life gain doesn't matter at all. So I'm gonna just put it on this. But I can't block, so I guess I'm just hoping I don't die this turn. Hoping I can draw into some removal. Now I am wishing I had put the cast down, or put the Artificer on the bottom instead of the cast down. If I knew I was against Infect, I certainly would have wanted the cast down. Snakeskin Veil to get hexproof, and then Vines of Vastwood, double mutagenic. Yes, indeed. They got me. I mean, this theoretically should be an okay matchup. We get Drown in Sorrow, Duress, Snuff Out. We already have a fair amount of removal. Steel Sabotage can hit the Ichor Clawmere, and Negate can counter some stuff. I don't know if that might be a little overkill, but like Pestilence is good, but really expensive. I don't know if it's even worth keeping in. Campfires don't matter. Spell Bombs don't matter. Card draw's fine, but flashing with back's unlikely to happen. Cryogen could be decent. Daily can take a creature from their hands, so I think that's fine, but Kenku feels expensive. Maybe we just do this. Give it a go. We have Daily to take a thing. We have a Negate. That's like it. So if they don't have a Glistener Elf and they only have one creature, I could take it away. But otherwise I have nothing, because the Negate's going to be like turn 4. That does not seem very good. Let's try again. Well, this is worse. Alright, Drown in Sorrow I guess is something, but yeah, we're not in a great spot here. Let's get rid of this, and I guess just this bridge. If I get rid of both bridges, I don't have anything to offering, but I can do a turn 3 Drown in Sorrow. Well, the first hand was okay. It could have been acceptable, but I just didn't really want to lose to that. Like, to that hand that could only Daily, and that's it. Pestilence is okay. Hopefully Drown can hit a creature here, and then that's the only creature they have, and then I get like a Nutrient Block or something to Fanatical Offering. Go forth for a basic, then Glistener Elf. Mistfall Bridge. Well, we got a Drown in Sorrow, which just gets mutagenicked away, but we have an island. A land means I could play a Mistfall Bridge next turn, and the following turn I could like Pestilence for 1. That doesn't seem very good. I think I'd rather just look for a cast down or something. No mutagenic is nice. Another Glistener Elf. Swamp. So I could just play a Pestilence and lose to them this turn. I mean, I'm still losing to them this turn regardless, but I could hold up mana and they would not expect it necessarily. They didn't have mutagenic. They didn't have a second land drop, so unless they hit the right draws, they're not going to be able to give +9. I think I'm just going to go for it. Pestilence on the field. I guess they could have Snakeskin Veiled right there, and then 2 Embiggens would be enough. 2 Embiggens, and they might have gotten the mutagenic growth. They did. Well, feels like a match that should be okay for us, but we did mulligan rough, and these draws are just not very good. And no matter how good you are against an Infect opponent, you can obviously just lose really quickly if they have a decent draw and you don't have the right draw. Alright, our opponent usually plays Fairies, which makes Spellbomb a waste, Campfire just okay, Cast Down decent, Double Cryogen not exciting. Well, it could be exciting if we had blue mana. I kind of want to keep it just because I don't want to mulligan it into Oblivion again, but we don't have card draw to even find a blue source. I'll keep it. We're right on the edge. Like, it's not a great hand. Currently, I would say, unless they're playing something different, 3 dead cards, kind of 3.5, because Campfire just doesn't do quite what you need it to here. Pajuka Bog them, and there's a Fairy Seer. Dismal Backwater, so I could Campfire here, and that lets me put my blue source. I scryed 2 to the top. The question is, do I just want to cast this down? I think the answer is no. Sometimes I do, but I think this time we'll just go for it. They'll swing. Moon Circuit Hacker. So I would love a Cauldron Familiar, just as a blocker. I mean, we don't have any food right now, but it would be a way to like block and come back repeatedly, and something we don't really care about. We don't do that though. They didn't really play the Fairies here, so they probably have a Spell Pierce or a Force Spike or something. I feel like I just need to keep hitting my land drops and not worry quite so much about this, so I think we're gonna Cryogen. Draw a card here. Nutrient Block. I could just hold up Campfire. I don't think I really need to play one of these, and I don't really want to get Force Spiked. I don't know if they're playing that, but it's a possibility. And it would also just prevent me from using Campfire this turn, which I don't think I need to waste. They loot away a Snap. Play the Fairy Seer again. Scribe both to the top, but miss a land drop. Interesting. We'll gain 2. So they could play Force Spike. They could play Dispel. So if I go for a Fanatical Offering on our Cryogen, I could get Dispelled. I could play like Nutrient Block. Well, I guess I want to use Campfire. I could keep this tapped. We're trying to hit a land drop. I mean, if they use like Skura's list, he usually runs Dispel, because that's a pretty good one. But we're going to go for the Offering and hope for the best. They do have Force Spike, and they're going to use it. Okay. I mean, currently that just keeps me from like Campfire or a 2-drop, but ideally I draw an untapped land, and I can do one of those anyway. But we're definitely going to pay for it. Alright, we do hit our land drop. It is a tap land, but I don't think we're in a terrible spot by any means, but they are getting some damage on us, and, well, the Campfire is offsetting a lot of the damage, but they are going to loot here again, potentially hit with another Hacker. Swing for 3. They do hacker the Fairy Seer. Loot away a Cryo Shatter, seeing as we don't have a lot of creatures. Replay the Fairy Seer. I now have the food. I really just need like a Cauldron Familiar. Kenku wouldn't be amazing actually, because they can like probably snap that guy. Land isn't bad here. I mean, I could cast these down. Do I really want to do that? Potentially. I could cryogen one of these guys. I think we'll cast it. We find a Pestilence. Keep one tapped, can't fire up. I go down to like 15. They get another loot. I'm gonna have to discard if I cryogen here though. It's notable. I could just like play a couple nutrient blocks or like a cast down. I don't necessarily want to cast something down here when we're potentially going to hit him with a Pestilence. Don't really want to discard a card either. I think we're just going to pass. This gives us options to cast down, Insight, Cryogen Relic, whatever, without having to discard. Hit their land drop. If I want to cast down, like, it would be to try to make the Pestilence resolve. If I do that here, they could spell stutter it. I think we just let them hit. A lot of damage, but I can eviscerate his Insight, the Cryogen. Can't fire, try to hit like another land, so I could Pestilence even through like a Force Spike. I mean, they're going to hold up Counterspell now, so getting a Pestilence down is going to be pretty tough. I don't know. They loot away a Harrier Strix, and did they decline the other one? No, they discarded a Snap. Okay. Let's Insight, Cryogen Relic. They're going to Force Spike, so I could... This does make me not campfire, but I think that's worth it. And if they want to counter it now, that's totally fine. No, they let it go. Kenku. If I Pestilence, they definitely have a counterspell for it. So Kenku gets countered. Don't have a great follow-up. I think I'm just doing Kenku on like a map token, though. I'd rather not do it on the bridge. The Indestructible doesn't really matter, especially if they're going to like snap it or whatever. Yeah, they're going to counterspell anyway. And then I could cast down. If I do this, I can campfire, then I go to 8. Or I could cast down, I go to 8 anyway. They get one less loot, but it walks into a Force Spike. They've already used 2 Force Spikes. I think we're going to try it. Okay, it worked. I'm obviously trying to get as much value out of the Pestilence as possible, but I think it's about time that we get rid of one of the hackers, and yeah. There's a Fairy Seer. Subscribe both to the top for the 3rd time. Of one mind. It's pretty good. An island. Swing for 3. Moon Circa Hacker. Loot away the Fairy Seer. Daily Indoctrination. I mean, I probably... If I cast Pestilence, I'm sure they have a counterspell. And then I don't have the best follow-up. Even a Daily Indoctrination doesn't hit an untapped land. I could just Daily Indoctrination on a Mistvault bridge, and then cast down, play a bunch of rocks and stuff. The chances they don't have a counterspell are tiny, I think. So, yeah, we're going to try for this. Earthbend 2 on the bridge. The Indestructible does matter if it's a 2-2, just not if it's a 3-3. Obviously, snapping the bridge is still a possibility they could have, or a Cryo Shatter or whatever, but I guess Cryo Shatter wouldn't matter. They're going to spell stutter, but I have a cast down, so that's fine. Obviously, I could have then resolved the Pestilence, but I couldn't use it this turn, and that doesn't seem very good. Play this, and I could map onto this, but that doesn't really matter. Let's just play a Nutrient Block and hold up Campfire. Hopefully, they don't have a snap. If they tried to counter it, I feel like maybe they won't, in which case, this is like a decent blocker. Cryo Shatter. Yeah, it gets -5, -0, which means it can't block effectively. When it becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it, but it's not actually going to get destroyed. Okay. Well, it can still block, then I can Campfire, and it's still a creature that keeps Pestilence alive, if I can get that to resolve, which we're probably going to try for this time. This turn. Fairy Seer. Don't break your streak of scrying 2 to the top every time. 1 top, 1 bottom. It's no good. Of one mind. Swings. Block here. Campfire. Becomes tapped or is dealt damage, destroy it. Then it's going to take damage and we're going to destroy it. They get to loot once. Discard a Fairy Miscreant. Lembas. I could start with like a Lembas. And if maybe they spell stutter it, and then I get a Pestilence off. If I just lead with Pestilence, they definitely counter it if they have the option, and then I'm probably just playing a Lembas anyway. So, sure. Let's cast this. They do have the spell stutter. I'm totally fine with that, since that was bait. Cast this, and we're just going to Pestilence for 1 right now, because I'd rather do it before they have a snap available to keep any of their guys alive. And now if they have a snap, they can snap this, and then the Pestilence will die, but that's... I think we've already gotten in a very good spot by doing that. Scry 2 to the bottom. How far the mighty have fallen. Let's Nutrient Block, crack a Nutrient Block. Alright, they concede. Yeah, I mean, we had enough life that the Pestilence was not going to kill us at this point, and I can wipe every single one of their creatures. Definitely in a position there where wiping a Fairy just kind of wins us the game. So we get Dragonsaurus, Snuff Out, Duress. I think that's it. Spell Bombs are a waste. Love that I drew both of those, but that's okay. Kenku Artificer and Daily are good, but of course now they're going to, I mean, they're not going to have, like, Cryo Shatters don't matter as much, but they're going to be packing the snaps still and saving them for these guys. Kenku is expensive also, but this one makes a flying blocker. That's pretty good. Daily also takes any fairy or ninja from their hand though, which is not bad either. Oh, Extracted Confession isn't very good here. Campfire was decent there, and again, isn't terrible in the matchup. It's just not the best thing ever. I think maybe we'll do like this. We have a 1-lander, not going to keep it. 2-lander with a Dimir Aqueduct. All these tap lands is pretty awkward, but yeah, I think we'll give it a try. And they mulligan to 5, so we're not as bad off as they are. Cast downs are pretty good. I don't really want to get rid of one of them. I think we'll get rid of the Indoctrination. Alright, they keep a 5-lander. 5-lander? No, 5-card hand. Fairy Seer. Let's see if the magic's back. 1 to the top. Dismal Backwater. I mean, we have a slow hand. Like, a really good 5-card hand from them could be good enough. They have a Moon Circuit Hacker. So, yeah, I mean, they're not doing too poorly. Play the Fairy Seer again. If I get an untapped land, I'll probably cast down the Hacker just to try to keep them off smooth draws. But if I don't, I just have to play an Aqueduct really awkwardly. Bojuka Bog. So Aqueduct, and then next turn I have tap land and 2 mana, whereas if I do the Bojuka Bog, it's the same thing. Yeah, we'll just play this. Pass. Swing, and they have Ninja the Deep Hours for the Fairy. Draw 2, discard 1. Discarding a Brinebearer Intruder. Replaying Fairy Seer, so I'm probably just casting down Ninja, trying to keep their card advantage down. I'm playing Dismal Backwater, but our hand is just been, our whole game plan here has been really slow, and they've had some pretty good draws despite their mulligan to 5. I mean, we mulligan to 6, so like they were only 1 card down. They've got another 1 mind, and swing, hit for 3, get to loot, discard an island. We get a Duress. I could Duress so that we can get something else to resolve through like a Spell Stutter, potentially. I mean, we have, like, if a Spell Stutter counters a Cryogen and I have a bunch more, it's not that big of a deal. I think we just play a Cryogen here. Yup, there's a Spell Stutter, and now I could Duress to try to hit something. Don't know if that really makes much sense. We'll just Nutrient Block, Bojuka Bog, swing for 4, loot off the Hacker, discarding a Strix, play a Miscreant, and another Miscreant. Okay, so like Drown in Sorrow would be our best draw, so I could Duress into Drown in Sorrow. No, I guess I will Duress here. They've only got a couple cards left. See what they're working with. Or draw to counterspell. Snap and a Spell Stutter. Okay. We take Snap, but that means they have Spell Stutter for whatever else we play. If I play Cryogen, they Spell Stutter it, and then I get to cast down the Hacker. Then we're just taking 5, which we can survive a little bit. Yeah, guess that's what we're doing. Or if they let it resolve, I could just keep the Hacker tapped. I think I'm pretty happy with that too. Mistfall Bridge. We were taking a lot of damage, but if it's not getting them ninjas, which if they get a ninja here, they get to Fairy Miscreant, like they're in a great spot. But if they're not, I can offset a lot of it. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, they have an of 1 mind. Play an island. Swing for 4. No, they found a ninja. I mean, they could draw more with the Miscreant, but yeah, picking up a Spell Stutter and just having double Spell Stutter's pretty good too. Bojuka Bog, this is 7, so Nutrient Block doesn't even keep us alive. So if I Lembas, they Spell Stutter. Then I cast down in their upkeep, they Spell Stutter, we die. Yeah, I think they got me. That was a pretty good of 1 mind that they got. Kenku's not going to do it. We'll go for a cast down in their upkeep, and as long as they Spell Stutter, we will lose. Alright, let's try again. Like I said, that was not a very good hand. We had already mulliganed. Didn't really want to go down lower, but so many tap lands and not a lot of fast removal. In general, as I mentioned, more 1-drop removal would be nice. Like, I think I want to swap some of these, not some, if not all of these Dismal Backwaters to like Contaminated Aquifers. Maybe put in Lorien, could be interesting, but at the very least, like, get some Defiles in here for this type of matchup specifically. Like, we'll still have bridges. I think 1 island is plenty. Contaminated Aquifers. Maybe swap out an Aqueduct as well. So just 4 Aquifer, 12 swamps in the deck is plenty, I think, for that. Here we have a Duress and a Pestilence. I mean, there's some good cards, but we have no blue mana. We can't get to the Pestilence. We don't have a surefire way to play the Fanatical Offering, so that's a mulligan. This one's better. Removal, we have Drown in Sorrow. We finally have a cat. Is cat our worst card? Probably not. I mean, I definitely part of me wants to keep Duress for the Duress Drown in Sorrow turn, but I also kind of feel like Cast Down's pretty good. I don't want to get rid of the land, and Cauldron Familiar can block. The ninjas make things more awkward. I don't know. They play a Fairy Seer. 1 top, 1 bottom. Kenku Artificer. Yeah, I think we just Cauldron Familiar here. They can probably get a ninja off, but I could kill it if I want, or I could just have a Familiar to block it. They swing for one, just the one. Lembas. Lembas is good, but it gets spell stuttered. I think I'll just Kenku. If they want to like counterspell it, it's fine. If not, I can put it on the bridge, and if they don't have a snap, it's pretty tough for them. They do counterspell. We'll swing for one, swing, pass. Well, now we're playing a Lembas because we got nothing else to do, and they got the spell stutter. No snuff out from us. There's only the one snuff out from the sideboard, obviously, but that's another one that feels like maybe we could play some more snuff outs in the main deck. That or Defile, doesn't have to be both. And we'll just pass in case they have a Brian Barrow, which they did. Of one mind, draws them 2 cards. Swing with the team. I guess I'll chump. If we drown in sorrow here, then Familiar's going to be dead anyway. They pick up the spell stutter, snuff out. I mean, if they have a counter spell, then this isn't going to matter anyway, but I think it's the time to go for it. Hope for no force spike. No, nothing. Okay, Campfire is okay, but not really what we need. We're going to get rid of that. If they like flash in a spell stutter on the end step, I'm just going to snuff it out so that there's no ninja coming. They do it with a Humbling Elder. I still probably kill it. I'd much rather kill a spell stutter, but I don't want the ninja down regardless. I guess let's see if they have another one to flash out. They don't. Harrier Strix, that's all they got. I'm going to play Lembas, Steel Sabotage. Bit unfortunate. I could cast down the Strix, but if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it in their upkeep, in which case I probably might as well do it on a ninja, because I don't really care if this guy gets picked up. If they have 2 ninjas and they get to swap them out, then good for them. But we're going to try to prevent the Ninja the Deep Hours from connecting. And that works. So they have Spell Stutter, Harrier Strix. I mean, they're 4 cards to our none. Can't cast that because they could have a Spell Stutter. And by could have, I mean they have a Spell Stutter. They would play it. And they cast it there. They swing. And drew another ninja. Lucky them. Connect. Draw a card. Harrier Strix. Pestilence. I mean, I know they have removal for the nutrient block. They have the spell stutter. I think I just play Pestilence and hope they don't have a counterspell. Not that I can use it this turn. And they do have a counterspell. Just some rough mulligans this match. We get another Pestilence. Even if this one resolves, we're going to be down to 5. Maybe I can get there. Seems unlikely. But I guess I got a 5. Then I can Pestilence wipe these 2. Play a nutrient block. I can get this to resolve because their spell stutter won't stop it, and then I can gain some life. Maybe. Of one mind, swing for 3. Like, now a Campfire would be good. Lembas. We have a Cauldron Familiar in the grave, so I can keep Pestilence around. So, I think I Lembas here. Like, if this resolves, I can keep it around. I have Steel Sabotage. So I could just Pestilence for 2. Or I could Nutrient Block. Bring back Familiar. Nutrient Block. Take 2. Deal 1 damage, so I go to 2. I wouldn't need to be doing that anyway. Well, this is what we're doing. Nutrient block. They got a spell stutter. I'm going to Pestilence for 1. If they have another spell stutter, then they can counter it, because I am out of mana. Or I guess another fairy at all. They do have the spell stutter. So if they have another instant speed guy, I just die here. If not, I can go to 1, but then I can't Pestilence unless I can get a food token or food counter. Not token or counter, a food card down on the ground, or like a Campfire maybe. And I guess if they just have a ninja, we're dead. Just 1 more mana, and they hit with the Moonsirga Hacker, so we are dead. Tough match. Alright, we have some lands. We don't really have many things in the way of card advantage, but at least we have some removal. We'll give it a try. Looks like Jund, get a Pestilence. It's going to sit in our hand for a while, but that's okay. Refurb right away. We'll take a land, Spell Bomb. Could cast this down, could Diley Indoctrination. I think we probably want to Indoctrination on an artifact land because it can block Gixian Infiltrators, it can block Chrysalis. It can't block this Refurb, but I can Pestilence that down pretty easily. So they're going to go for a Lembas. Swing for 2. We get a Lembas. Another land isn't bad. Don't think it's quite what we need right now. I guess we will Bajuga Bog. We already have a Spell Bomb on the table, and I'd like to play my tap land. There's Chris. Take 2. Another Mistfall Bridge. So here we're going to Earthbend onto a Mistfall Bridge, so that we have a blocker for Chrysalis, and so we just have a guy to survive for Pestilence. 6 mana, they have a Nyxborn Hydra. That's pretty good. I thought we weren't playing those anymore. Pretty annoying that they are, honestly. Gonna have to cast that down. Take 2. Cryogen Relic. I could Pestilence here and then hit everything for 1, which would save me a life. Would open us up to potentially hitting everything, including the Hydra, the following turn. I think we'll go for the Cryogen Relic here. Cast down. Play a bridge. Pass. Blood Fountain. I have a Spell Bomb, luckily, because I might be casting down this Hydra. I could also just block. We take 4, and then I could Cryogen it for a turn, and then I could Pestilence this for 1. Let me Pestilence everything, and I keep the cast down for something else. What else am I going to need to keep it for, though? I mean, if we get rid of the Pestilence, we're going to want to get rid of it. We're going to want to keep it for something else. They're probably not going to have a Troublemaker Roof in their main deck, so they probably can't get rid of this bridge, though, is my hope. I think we're just going to cast it down. Play a Pestilence, and I'm just going to activate for 1 in their upkeep here, in case they wanted to sack it to a Fanatical Offering or something. And they're going to just Blood Fountain right now. I guess we'll Spell Bomb them with a card draw. Pretty nice for us. Play a Cryogen Relic, Doctrination. I could take something from their hand. I could just Earthbend more onto this guy, or to a different guy. Probably on this one, though. But we could also use more cards. Am I scared of anything they could play? I mean, Troublemaker Roof would be the one thing. I think I'm just going to play a Nutrient Block, see if I can get another land drop. If not, I can attack for 2. I think we will. I'm not holding up a Pestilence for anything, which could be, you know, not great, I guess. But it's probably fine. Chris. Like, I could have wiped for 1 for Chris, and then it would be less expensive to kill this Chrysalis, but I'm not too worried about it. Lembas. Let's play that. Another Lembas. I'm going to activate Pestilence for 1 here so that we can get rid of their spawn, so they can't use it for mana. They did just let it go because they apparently have 6'd, and that's totally fine. We'll sack the Cryogen Relic, try to hit that land drop. We do with the Dimir Aqueduct. Pick up a Bajuka Bog, just pass the turn here. I guess they have another Hydra. This could be problematic, but they don't have a way to make it super big. They have a Refurb. We'll get rid of Nutrient Block, I guess. They're going to attack, which is interesting. Toxin Analysis, sure. So let them get a card, but I'm going to also be able to kill the Chrysalis because I have this Pestilence for 1. To wipe their 2 creatures. Does this give haste? Not specifically. So if I play Nutrient Block, they're not going to be able to. It's not going to be able to attack this turn. So we'll just play a Lembas, scry a land at the top. I'll Bajuka Bog away their 2 things. Map onto this guy. Can't fire. Sure, we'll leave that on top. Hit for 3. We'll pass the turn. I mean, unless they have a Troublemaker Roof or like any way to get rid of Pestilence or Bridge, which I guess getting rid of Bridge would get rid of Pestilence. They could definitely have some of those in their main deck. There's a Landscape and another Chrysalis. I'll wipe away the spawn. Pestilence everything again. Kenku Artificer onto Nutrient Block. Attack for 6. Dismal Backwater. Can't fire. Pass. Cast down on the Nutrient Block. That is indestructible, brother. The text no one reads about this card. I mean, again, they were dead regardless, but that's why we did that. Alright. Duress is not bad. Snuff Out's okay. Steel Sabotage is good. And honestly, Negate's probably worth it. Removal's good. Campfire's decent. Maybe Campfire's not super necessary here. Staying above them in life is always important with Pestilence, so maybe I should just have them, but we still have all the food tokens. Daily's good. Yeah, this is one where everything's good, so almost makes me feel like I don't want to bring stuff in. Probably should use Daily's aggressively to try to take Troublemaker Oof away. Steel Sabotage can offset. I mean, it can counter whatever, or it can just bounce a land, set them back a little bit. Duress is always good here. Extract a Confession maybe we don't need, just because we have all the Indestructible blockers? No, but this gets rid of Hydra nicely. Spellbomb's good. I don't know. I guess we'll get rid of a couple Kenku Artificers just to lean away from the Troublemaker Roof a little bit. This one looks decent. Duress to rip apart their hand. Offering with a cat is not bad. They mulligan to 5, so ripping apart their hand will be even easier. Start with the bridge. We get a Steel Sabotage. I kind of just want to duress them, make sure they don't hit like a Wildfire. No. Wellspring or Lembas. I guess we'll take Wellspring. Whichever one of these artifacts they don't play here. I guess I can't actually have a Steel Sabotage for. Okay, but they didn't play the Lembas, which means I can duress. I'm just going to discard the Familiar. Maybe I shouldn't because it could be used for the offering, but obviously I can just get it back. Ideally, duress them and Lembas. They have a Krark. Actually, I should have probably discarded the Steel Sabotage just because like bouncing an artifact doesn't really matter at this point, and countering something is just a crapshoot as to whether they're going to actually have something or not. Daily Indoctrination I could do on the bridge, and then I could Fanatical it and it'll come back. That's not the best deal ever. I could just do it on their hand. Might as well wait longer, I think. I could sabotage their Familiar. Let's just Bajuka Bog and pass, I think. They have a Wellspring. We'll just counter that. I knew the play would come to me. It was to counter a Wellspring. Take 2. Pestilence. Yeah, let's just play Kenku, make this bridge indestructible, because this way, I mean, if they just exile it, good for them. But I think this is their best way, because I'm happy to sacrifice the Kenku Artificer to the Fanatical Offering, and so that can get us some more cards. Plus, this is a blocker for the Refurb, assuming it doesn't get exiled. Play another Vault of Whispers and swing for 2. Pass. I could just start attacking them for... No, let's preserve our life total. Just hit with the Artificer, then sacrifice it to draw 2 for that land drop. Blood Fountain. Attacks. We get a Swamp. Go for a Lembas. Cryogen, we'll keep that and play it. Aqueduct is land drops for a couple turns. So now here I can probably Spellbomb. Well, okay. That changes what I was literally about to say. That's probably fine. I was going to say I can play a Pestilence, wipe their Refurb, and then I have a Bridge to survive. And if they get a Troublemaker Root for it, then I also have a Cauldron Familiar to keep it around. But maybe that's not true anymore. But I can also Daily Indoctrination on this Mistvault Bridge. And then we're really probably safe against what they got going on. Aqueduct, pick up a Pajuka Bog. We'll just swing for 2 for now. Pass. They are going to crack the Spellbomb, so we will bring back the Cat. Offering to draw 2. Insight to draw 3 off the Relic. And I'm just going to start attacking because we can hit for 6 here. It's quite a lot. Then I can Pestilence for 1 if I want to get this guy. I don't think I even need to do that yet. Let's just play Cryogen Relic and Lembus and then Mistvault Bridge. Pass the turn. They swing for 2. Then Insight, their map, and Cleansing Wildfire. We get to hit for 6. I could have mapped for an extra one. Actually, wait, map for an extra one, Daily Indoctrination. I could have put him to 1 here. Not sure that would have been better, but would have been decent. And I think we just Pajuka Bog them, leave up our Insight and all our stuff. Next turn, I can probably just attack for lethal. If not, we can Pestilence for the win. They have a Chrysalis, sacrifice the Cauldron Familiar, play a Swamp, play a Pestilence, and just start dealing some damage to everything. And Pestilence them down to lethal. They could maybe have like a Crypt Incursion here, but I can respond to that with another Pestilence or even a Cauldron Familiar, so we have 2 more ways to ping them. And we're going to take the match. Alright, decent hand. We'll give it a try. And there's a Delver. Always a tough call. I could just lead on a Spellbomb, which can't get countered yet, so that if we start fighting over a Delver, and then I can blow up the graveyard before they can get to Terror. I think that's the right call here. It means that unless I draw an untapped land here, I don't have a way to kill the Delver right away, so I'm going to take at least, assuming it flips, at least 6 off of it. So I could have played Dismal Backwater and then gone for an Extract or a Cast Down, but then they could have a removal or a counterspell for that anyway. We fight over this, and then again, like, Spellbomb I hasn't resolved, and I can't stop them from getting a Terror down after all that, so luckily they didn't flip it here. We just get another offering, so we got to pass. But even if they had Brainstorm or anything to set up the Delver, like Brainstorm Mental Note, then I could like Spellbomb it away. And they don't flip again. Well, that's pretty nice for us. Definitely makes us feel good about choosing this path because I don't even care about the Delver when it's only dealing 1. This is a 20-turn clock, a lot better than a 7-turn clock. And a cast down. Now I think I just wait. I can cast this down at instant speed if I even care about it. If it does flip, it'll still be relevant enough to try to kill, probably. But it did not flip again. Didn't even attack with it. Well, I almost want a Fanatical Offering like a Spellbomb, but if I'm going to do that, I don't want to waste the card here. And I don't really want to do that in general in this matchup, but I do want to make sure to hit our land drops, and if we missed that, it would be unfortunate. I could extract this. Do I even care at this point? I don't think so. If I want to, I can do 2 cast downs on this guy during this turn, and extract is still probably better against their terrors, but it looks like they've drawn like 5 islands in a row, because did not get anything here. They're just going to Lorien. Deep Analysis, okay. Deep Analysis is unfortunate because I kind of want to blow it up, but it's not enough to actually care about. I think I just take 1 here too, because I'd rather save these for when they matter. But Pajuka Bog's a very nice draw. I wanted to hit a land drop. I wanted to get rid of the Deep Analysis, but I also didn't want to waste my Spellbomb. That was perfect. And I have a stop in their upkeep in case they flip this off like a counter spell or a dispel or something that I then want to cast it down once it's flipped, but before they've drawn that spell. Whereas if I didn't have the stop, they flip and they could immediately go to their main phase. Force Spike. Yeah, I think it's good enough now to cast down, and if I end up casting it down again, then the Force Spike will become relevant, so I think we do this in the upkeep, and they let it go, so that's totally fine. So I was happy to let that just keep hitting me while it was 1 damage, but now I'm happy to kill it. A Ponder, just a Ponder, no Shuffle, no land drop this time it looks like. So 7 spells and... Ooh, Daily Indoctrination is interesting, because it, well, does a couple different things. It could take a Serpent out of their hand, but I don't currently care about that. I could just Earthbend onto a Bridge, which is going to be a great blocker, but of course they could... No, they can't Demon Inferior it. They could counterspell the Indoctrination. Currently we don't have anything else to play, because I'm not going to offering any of the rest of this. Yeah, I think we're going to do this. If it resolves, it just, like I said, makes a great blocker, and I also get to, until they put creatures on the field, just get to attack with them. And if they had a Boomerang or something, I could actually just like offering it in response. Then it'll come back, and I get my card draw. Yeah, they let it go. We're going to start attacking. Don't know how long it's going to be until they get a creature down, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Tome Scour. Me? They're milling me for 5? They hit a Cauldron Familiar? Is the point not to mill themselves with this? I mean, I've never seen someone actually play this, but if you're going to play it, do you not want to mill yourself for what I assume is a terror deck, but I guess I could be wrong. Are they a mill deck? That's crazy. They milled me with the Thought Scour too. Biggest plot twist I've ever seen. They're a mill deck, not a terror deck. I mean, maybe they are still a terror deck, but like, mill is another game plan. Do I spellbomb them here? No. I'm fine if they want to play a guy for like 4. Gonna keep attacking them. There's also a really cool trick you can do with Daily Indoctrination. I could have earthbended onto my Bajuka Bog. Then when it dies, it comes back to the battlefield, so then I could sacrifice it to my offering to have an instant speed bog. This time they mill themselves. Hit Counterspell Delve. That's 5. Okay. I'm happy to let them have 1 creature. If they want to cast 1, then I'll spellbomb them, because then I'll just cast it down and extract and whatnot. Not to mention I have a blocker for it. I can't cast this down because they have a Force Spike, and that would cost all 4 of my mana, so I'll probably just go for the extract on our turn, plus like a Cryogen. Dimir Aqueduct is good for our Bajuka Bog. Let's extract a Confession, see if they want to counter that. They don't. Play a Cryogen Relic. That resolves. Aqueduct the Bog, and I'll swing for 2. They consider milling a Sleep of the Dead. Nice. Nice hit there. Currently they have a 5 mana Snake though, so that's not the best thing for them ever. There's the Terror and a Delver. Spellbomb. We'll just cast this down, pay the ward, play a Spellbomb, swing for 2. This might be able to fly over if they flip, and if they don't flip, I don't really care, so I'm happy to do that. And then Bog, get rid of that Sleep of the Dead, and make their next Serpent 7 mana. Not to mention we just have our other spell bomb, so I think we're in a pretty good spot. And they don't flip. Their Delvers are cursed, dude. 4 mana for Deep Analysis. Pay 3 life to flash it back. So here I probably attack for 2. They're down to 7. I just play a Pestilence, kill the Delver, and I have like 2 more damage I can deal with the Pestilence, and then next turn I can just bomb them with all of our black mana. They ponder, Cryogen Relic. We'll swing for 2 here. Pestilence, kill the Delver, pass the turn. They ponder, Thought Scour, consider Spell Pierce. That's 5 spells in the grave. They play a Terror. I mean, I might as well Spellbomb here, but frankly, they could play a whole bunch of Terrors, and then I think I just Pestilence them and win. But let's blow up the graveyard just for fun. Slash in case they have like a Dimir? Deem Inferior for a Pestilence. That could keep them alive. Alright, we win that game. Get Duress, Snuff Out. I don't think Negate's necessary. Fair Macabre, probably not either. Our main deck's already really well set up against them. We have some removal, and they are going to have ways to bounce our artifacts with Steel Sabotage, I assume. But when they're indestructible and they don't have a way to get rid of them, because Demon Fury doesn't hit them and stuff, then it's just really hard for them to deal with it. Duress and Snuff Out, I mean, I guess we're taking out, like, card draw. Kenku is kind of expensive, because card draw finds our removal. I think maybe I just cut all the Kenkus. They give flying. It lets us kill or block the Delver, but we have a bunch of other ways to block it anyway. Like, I could cut Campfires, because this match is not... It's not imperative I have a Campfire, but it's still not bad here. Hand looks decent enough, so we'll give it a try. Mist Vault Bridge. Could get Steel Sabotaged right away. Hoping that does not happen. Consider. Plays an island and passes. We have land drops for days. I don't think we need to do anything until they do something more, just because I don't want to play into counter spells. They Tome Scour themselves, and they hit an island, terror, and a ponder. At least they targeted the right player this time, but that's only... I mean, that's super unlucky for sure, but that's only 3 spells in their grave. And I guess I'll play a Nutrient Block. If they want to counter this, I could probably resolve something else. If they don't, then that's fine. Then I'll pass. They consider. I mean, Tome Scour and consider feels like budget mental notes, so that's possibly what it is. What's going on here? I mean, Tome Scour also does have the potential, if you play it on turn 1 on yourself, hit 5 spells, and you could do 2 terrors on turn 2. That'd be pretty good. I'm just going to crack this while we have the mana. Extract a Confession. Bajuka Bog would be a nice draw, of course. Here I could play a Cryogen or a Lembas, and if one gets countered, maybe I resolve the other. I think I'll pass. If they play like a Terror, then I could cast it down, and then if that gets countered, then I could like extract on my turn and play one of these maybe. Again, while I'm hitting land drops, I'm just not too worried about playing Draw Go right here. There's a Terror. I could cast down, but actually I feel like Extract is gonna kill this unless they have like an Envelop, but we probably haven't seen that. Well, we definitely haven't seen that. And we have seen Force Spike, so I don't really want to cast down and get force spiked. We do have a Bojuka Bog though, and that's very good. So extract here, and then Bojuka Bog, which we also have a way to pick it up. I'm not going to play one of these because then we get annulled is fine, but a force spike I just don't want to give any power to. Does not seem necessary. They don't even have a land drop. And here I'll play a couple spells because if they want to counter them, then I can just get rid of those with a Bojuka Bog later, like next turn, but they both resolve. Aqueduct, pick up the bog. They got nothing. We'll crack a nutrient block. Dismal Backwater. We'll just pass here. I could start casting some spells here, which I was thinking about doing, but they're at 7 cards, so they're about to have to discard if they don't hit a land drop, which they did. But if they didn't, then I'd rather they have to discard rather than get like counter spells off first. They're just going to deep analysis though, which is totally fine. And a Delver of Secrets. We're going to Fanatical Offering this Cryogen, drawing a bajillion here. Eviscerator's Insight, the map token, and then I can just get down a Pestilence, but Pestilence is going to die so far. So let's just cast this down. Probably don't need to, but that's okay. Limbus, don't need another land, another Pestilence. Let's just duress, see what they have going on. Is it just all terrors? Is it a bunch of other stuff? Yeah, counterspell, dispel, spell pierce, steel sabotage. I mean, they have a lot of stuff, and they have a mystic. Probably, I mean, I could take steel sabotage so that if we get like a indestructible bridge, they can't do anything about it. Counterspell is probably the thing that makes the most sense. We'll just take a counterspell. Lembus, Daily Indoctrination. Ooh, I could just take Mystic with that. That feels pretty good. Since their whole hand is kind of revolving around the Mystic right now, we'll take that. Discard it, and I will Bojuka Bog. We're only hitting a couple spells, but they have a deep analysis in there, so seems like good value. They have a lot of interaction, but it's just all counter spells, so now that I know about them, I mean, I was already playing around a lot of them, but now we get to play around them even better. If they want to Steel Sabotage or counterspell this nutrient block, go for it. If not, we'll just pass. They don't have a land drop here. We're going to Eviscerator's Insight this nutrient block. They could dispel it if they want. Choose not to. Lembus, Cauldron Familiar. I've been wanting one of those, so let's just cast that. It's just a win con. It also makes it so our Pestilences can actually survive here. Let's pass and get rid of a land here. And I'll go for a Fanatical Offering on the Cauldron Familiar, then Eviscerator's Insight on the map, and bring back the Cauldron Familiar with the Lembus. We can attack with it. Cryogen Relic. I'm not really expecting to mill out, so I think we're at a pretty good spot. Kind of tough for them to do much of anything. Cryogen Relic. Bojuka Bog is a nice draw for when we want to do that. Discard a land. Swing for 1. Oh, I forgot we left the campfires in, so we're definitely not going to mill out. Although this might be one they want to Steel Sabotage, I guess, which would be fun. They decide against it. They do Thought Scour us, so their plan is to mill us, except they might not realize the campfire, unless they have a Stifle in their deck, is not going to make it easy for them to mill us out. They're going to Deep Analysis, going to Eviscerator's Insight the Familiar, then bring it back with a Nutrient Block and Campfire. I guess if I tap this to gain life, they could Steel Sabotage to bounce it and then try to counter it on the way down. And I don't really need to gain the life, so maybe I just don't even tap it for life again. We discard an island, swing for 1. We'll play a Spell Bomb. I guess I should have Dilead, attacked for more. That's okay. I think here we just cast Pestilence. If they want to counter that, which they probably should, then I'll play another and see if they have another counterspell, which they could. We know only 4 of their 6 cards. Spell Pierce. Okay, they could have 2 Spell Pierces, I suppose. And they do. And I didn't play my land specifically because I was planning to Bojuka Bog them after, but they got me. That's fine. Bojuka Bog, pass. No deep analysis for them. Activate Campfire. I didn't have the 2 mana up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Swing for 1. Lembus. Oh, again, I did not. Indoctrination first. It's fine. Play another Lembus. Cat doubles our clock. Pass the turn. This is extremely riveting stuff. I'm going to Offering the Familiar, bring it back with a Lembus, Offering another Familiar, bring it back with a Lembus, Campfire, and here's a Pestilence. Do they have a counterspell for that? They do. Here's a Daily Indoctrination. I should have done this on the Bojuka Bogs, because I actually don't want to do it on a bridge, because they can sabotage it. So I should have done it on the bog so they could come back, but it's fine. Or I should do it on the Dismal Backwaters so that they can gain us more life. I mean, I guess this I should just do on the same one. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We've had control of this game for like an hour, so I'm going to attack for 6, I'm going to play a Spell Bomb, and I'm going to pass the turn. I assume their last goal is to try to mill us out with like a couple Tome Scours or whatever. Again, that's not really going to work because of our Campfire. They do Ponder and Shuffle. Also, even if we didn't have the Campfire, Lembus can keep us alive for like 2 turns by sacrificing them in our upkeep, and 2 turns is more than enough. Oh my god, they have a Tolarian Terror. Time to panic. And a Delver of Secrets. Cast down the Delver. They could dispel it, which they do. Crack a spell bomb. Draw a card. I guess I should campfire back all of our Pestilences back into our deck before I draw a bunch. We'll do that. So if I could just find a Pestilence, that would just win us the game. Here's a Lembas. Daily Indoctrination. That also just wins us the game. Because I can extract a Confession. They sack a Delver. I Earthbend onto a different creature this time. And I attack for 4. Alright. Long match, but we got there. Ended up with a 3-2 for the deck. Not bad at all. Like I said, I think there could be some changes in like the mana base. I think some cheaper removal would have helped the mono blue matchup, mono blue fairies matchup quite a bit more. So I think I am looking to put some snuff outs or defiles in the main deck. Also, I do like this effect, and obviously this is kind of what you're going with for this deck. 7 still might be too many effects. I think 1 or 2 artificers is probably fine. The fact that the Daily Indoctrination has another mode that's pretty relevant. I think 3 or 4 copies of this is probably fine, but I'd probably go down a couple of these. Of course, the Kenkus do work nicely with the nutrient block, and I always love Cryogen Relic getting into a deck like this. It didn't feel bad, honestly. Of course, this is, 90% of a normal Pestilence list, changing out, adding 7 blue cards and changing the mana base a little bit, and giving us different sideboard options, which I don't think is a terrible idea by any means. So I think there very well might be something to this kind of a list, or even experimenting with other Black X Pestilence decks. Obviously, Orzhov has been around for a while, or used to be a more popular deck. Golgari has become the main Pestilence deck, but definitely could have some others as well. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my $10 and up supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check my Medify link down below. It's the best way to make sure I keep putting out daily videos. Thank you to my current $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Howcaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you all next time.